All right, next question. It's a COVID question. I know we're probably all sick of COVID, but it's a COVID question, so. Izzy, go ahead.
After the school board and pandemic mitigation canceled the traditional in-person educational model last year, what was your position and what actions did you and will you take to support students and staff for the remainder of the 2020 school year and into the 2021 through 2022 school year?
So, my position, when the in-person classes were canceled, my position was that we should be in person. I went to the school board meetings. I spoke at the school board meetings. I may have gotten too passionate, I guess, at some of the meetings, but as a parent who has children that go to school in this district, I wanted my children in school. I have a unique perspective in the fact that for my work, I travel multiple states. Okay, and what I noticed as I traveled in multiple states is I could go to water parks and have 2,000 people in a water park, but I couldn't have my kids in school. Okay, and I would go to the state of Iowa where our other office is, and kids are in school. And so, part of being deemed essential early on in the pandemic, and my company we were deemed essential because we provide disinfectants and we provide facility maintenance. I had to get over the fear of going to work immediately. And it was there and it was real, and I don't take that away from anyone. But I had this vision of things that were happening outside of the school bubble, and I saw that we could get on and we could live. And if education isn't essential, then nothing's essential.
So I've never wavered in my decision about how our kids should go back to school. I voted at the end of June to have them face-to-face. I voted in August to have them go face-to-face. I voted in September to have them go face-to-face. I truly believed that with the mitigation measures that were put into place, our kids could safely return. I also understand that there were some parents that did not feel it was safe, and so I fully supported a virtual option. My job, I felt, as a school board member, is not to tell a parent what they should do with their child. If you want to have them in school, I want to make that option available. If you don't want to have them in school, I want to make a good virtual option available. And so I felt when the board voted to go back hybrid, I know they did it in the realm of safety. However, I felt like there was a group of students who absolutely needed to be there face-to-face that were neglected. And that's why I fought so hard to get them back in September. Even though I voted against being hybrid, I was as supportive as I could be of our staff and our students during that time. I am at a very high level being on the board, and so while I didn't directly maybe have an impact, I tried to emotionally be supportive for the kids and for the staff. Does that answer all? I can't remember if that, so it was what was your position, and then would you like to read? And then what will you do to support students and staff?
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure I answered it fully for you.
You're all good. All right, the question reads, after the school board pandemic mitigation canceled the traditional in-person educational model last year, what was your position and what actions did you and will you take to support students and staff for the remainder of the 2021 school year and into the 2021 through 2022 school year?
So nobody really quite knows what next year's school year looks like. We did give teachers an option that were unable to be back in the classroom to be able to teach virtually. Pay was kept intact, whether you taught virtually or you taught hybrid or you were face-to-face. We also are doing a vaccine clinic up at the high school on Friday for all of our teachers, which is great news because once they get their second vaccine, they do not need to quarantine after an exposure. So that will decrease the amount of subs that we need to get. It'll keep the teachers safer. Hopefully give them a little bit more security. And then as far as students, I will always vote for our kids to go back face to face. I just, there's no other way to it. Face to face is the best education for kids.
All right, Izzy, one more time with the question, please.
All right, the question reads, after the school board and pandemic mitigation canceled the traditional in-person educational model last year, what was your position and what actions did you and will you take to support students and staff for the remainder of the 2021 school year and into the 2021 through 2022 school year?
Thank you. So I wanted the kids in school. I think an overwhelming majority of the parents wanted the kids in school, and not Jim or Jessica, but the rest of the board decided to overrule the will of the parents and close schools. And as a result, we lost kids. They open enrolled into other schools. I took my middle daughter out of Nature Hill and put her in a private school. My husband and I felt we had no choice for her mental and physical health to get her out of the virtual learning. So I was a huge proponent of going back to school. I remain that way. As far as supporting teachers and students, because I see some students in the audience that have masks on, I wholeheartedly embrace that. If you feel safer with the mask on, if a teacher feels safer with the mask on, they should wear it. But we should never force everybody to do one thing because we are not a one-size-fits-all society. So without education, our children have nothing. We need to make sure that all options are available to them. The overwhelming majority of students want to be in school. They want to learn. It is their right to have that education. And as Jessica said, we've got, they're being vaccinated, which is a good thing because it'll mitigate a lot of fear. That's it.
I'm not going to make it repeat it. I'll interpret it the best I can. So, as I understood the question, how did I feel about canceling last year? Again, that was a year ago. That was 15 days to control the spread. That's when we shut it down. And so I was all in favor of doing it back then because it was 15 days. And then, right, we took spring break off. We'll be back after that. And then we weren't back after that. And then next thing you know, it consumed a prom, and then it consumed a graduation and shut down the rest of the year. I'm like, okay, that's not happening again. Okay. Then we got back together as a school board and we engaged the teachers, put together these protocols, came out with a plan in June to bring us back to school face to face. And I think we were the first district in the area to vote to come back face to face in June. And I remember texting Roger on my ride home, I'm like, this is what Unrivaled feels like, because we were the first to do it. And then it changed, and then it got weird. It got like political, and people, whoa, no, we're not gonna do that. And then all of a sudden people changed, and it was just like, what happened? And literally, like, if you think about what we did in late August, June, like we're in the middle of enrolling. They're enrolling, they had like these options. You could stay home with the OASD, or you could come virtual face to face. We changed in the middle of enrollment with 48 hours left and said, yeah, it doesn't matter what you put down, we're gonna do hybrid. And it was like, whoa. And we spiked up to 60 cases a day in Waukesha County at that time, which is a fraction of a fraction. It wasn't community spread yet, but again, looking back with 2020 hindsight, you can understand because you just didn't know. We didn't have metrics to put it against. You know, we got all the way up to like 600 cases a day. That was real. You have to do something with it. But so I did. I fought for the face-to-face the whole time because I knew when we shut it down last year, and I did agree with it. I shut it down with a 4K and a 5K kid at home, and I'm not a teacher, and my kid still doesn't know how to read. My first grade. It's beyond. I'm serious. She's in D books, and the rest of the class is like zooming ahead. And so it's really upsetting And, but I support the teachers, because our teachers never got political. Our teachers took on and were understanding, and they were invited in already with their face-to-face and face-to-face, and they were open-minded and smart, and they did their jobs, and you gotta appreciate that. And so, yes, I will fight next year that these masks don't go on forever, because at some point, the vaccinations are to be readily available, and you gotta take care of yourself and stop telling other people what to do. And we're gonna go on. We're gonna continue to follow the science and follow the experts, which is the Academy of Pediatrics that we did. And that's the whole reason we did what we did. So I appreciate everyone who fought like that and made this the best out of it that it could be.
Awesome.
Well said, Jim.
All right.